I've been interested in the paranormal for a long time. It all started with my uncle telling us stories about the various scary denizens of the Louisiana swamps, like the loup-garou and the feu follet, which were sufficient to frighten my cousins and I into the near pants-wetting stage. When I was a little older, I started reading books like 20 True Tales of the Supernatural. Then I picked up H.P. Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe and started watching shows like Kolchak the Night Stalker. I guess it's no wonder that as a teenager I developed some serious insomnia. Anyhow, all of this is just meant to show that I have spent a long time reading supposedly true paranormal stories, so it's always a bit of a surprise and a pleasant one when I find one that I hadn't heard about before. This happened a few days ago when a friend of mine sent me a link to a story about Gil Perez, a 16th century soldier who supposedly teleported from the Philippines to Mexico City. The story goes like this. In October of 1593, a man showed up in the Plaza Mayor of Mexico City. He appeared disheveled and disoriented. He was questioned by authorities, and what he told them was that he had been on guard duty. He felt dizzy and he leaned against a wall, and when he opened his eyes, there he was. The problem was, only seconds before, he'd been in Manila. The authorities of the time were strictly Roman Catholic, and anything like this smacked of witchcraft. So they locked Perez up and charged him with desertion and consorting with the devil. Perez protested that he had no idea how he'd gotten there, but that it had nothing to do with Satan. And as proof, he said that he had just gotten word of the assassination of Philippine Governor Gomez Perez Dasmariñas by Chinese pirates, and that was proof that he'd actually been in Manila. Of course, back then, information didn't travel fast. It wasn't until 2 months later, during which time poor Perez had been languishing in jail, that some people from the Philippines showed up and they actually corroborated what he'd said. Dasmariñas had been assassinated, and in fact, they recognized Perez's uniform and said that there had been a soldier who had disappeared under mysterious circumstances and had never been seen since. In any case, at that point, the authorities let Perez go, and he joined the Philippine delegation and made his way back home. Why the charges of black magic were dropped, I don't know, because there still remained the problem of how exactly he teleported halfway around the world in seconds. But maybe they were just as happy to make it someone else's problem. In any case, what happened to Perez after that is not recorded. The problem, of course, is that tales like this usually have an unfortunate genealogy, and that is certainly the case here. The version of the tale I just told you comes from a 1908 issue of Harper's Magazine. It was an article written by a man named Thomas Allibone Janvier. Janvier said he'd gotten the story from a 1900 collection of Mexican stories by Luis Gonzalez Obregon. Obregon said that he'd gotten it from a 1609 statement by then Philippine Governor Antonio de Morga, who said that Dasmariñas' death was known in Mexico the day it happened, although he didn't mention anything about Perez or how the information got there. Others have noticed that the story bears some similarities to the story by Washington Irving called Governor Marco and the Soldier, that appeared in an 1832 collection called Tales from the Alhambra. So it's entirely possible that what happened is that de Morga's offhand comment was picked up and elaborated upon by Obregon, and then picked up again and elaborated even further by Janvier, with some help from Washington Irving's fictional tale. In any case, it's an intriguing story. I'm always more captivated by the ones that are open-ended, like this one is. The ones that have pat, tidy endings always seem to me to be too neat to reflect reality. But this one, Perez's mysterious disappearance and reappearance were never fully explained. He vanished into obscurity afterwards and nothing more came of it, have the untidiness that to me is a characteristic of reality. It's why my all-time favorite scary story, the tale of Nurse Black that I've told you about here before, still gives me shudders every time I think about it. Now, mind you, it's not that I believe Perez's story is real. It's just that I'm much more likely to be interested in the ones that sound realistic. And, after all these years, it was fun to run into one that I had never heard about before. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Our resources are down there, and please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.